God wanted day and night. God wanted the dark and light. God wanted the earth and ocean, stars and moon. Tree and plants and fish and bird. And all it took was his holy word. God made it as a gift for me and you. So last of all, the Lord reached down and took the dust from off the ground and made two living souls to sing his praise. God can do anything. God can do anything. God can do anything but fail. God made the man and woman good, and they had a real nice neighborhood, free to love. They were free to fall. Temptation came and did them man. Their perfect world was rocked by sin, and when it seemed they had no hope at all, the story could have ended here, but Jesus died to make it clear that death could not hold him in the grave. God can do anything. God can do anything. God can do anything but fail. God can do anything. God can do anything. God can do anything but fail. Then and now forevermore, Jesus keeps an open door for every child, man and a woman to all through. He feeds the poor and heals the blind, still turns that water into wine. There ain't no thing too hard for him to do. And I'm here to testify that if he can save in my life, yours will not be hard work at all. God can do anything. God can do anything. God can do anything but fail. God can do anything. God can do anything. God can do anything but fail. God can do anything but fail. Yes. All right, we're underway, my friends. 2008 throwback live stream for this album right there. It's Sweet Redemption, came out in 2008, and one of my most favorite album's graphics, which, if you remember, in 2008, CDs were just about to die. They're kind of dead at this point. But it was like, this is the turn when digital music was like just coming around the corner with its big ugly head, and I spent the most money I've ever spent on a digital package that probably no one ever really enjoyed but me and my mom. Yeah, it's very, very similar. So yeah, I love this packaging. My friend Jason Parrish did it, and it's got pictures, it's got all kinds of photos in it. If you haven't seen it, because you only listen to digital music, I'll show it to you quickly right now. That is, well, it's over here. That's a young lady named Belinda. And I had a lot of different fashion wear things going on. And there's a lot of pictures from being in Africa, which I'll talk about. There's some sweet pictures of my dad in there, which is also awesome. Oh, this was on safari. No, I keep going the opposite direction. That was from safari, which was pretty cool, in Kenya. and a picture of my dad in Rio de Janeiro, one of my favorite pictures. You probably can't see that super well, but there you go. And a lot of sensitive singer-songwriter dude pictures like that one right there. Like, yeah, buy this record. So we're here to celebrate that. I'm super excited. I've got some friends here. My friend J-Dub and Elizabeth are here, and I've got some tea. And my friend Caleb and Janie are here as well. And my family is also here, which is outstanding. So we're going to just keep moving on. Keep moving on. As I was thinking about this song, is it kind of focusing in and out for some reason? Yes. Caleb from Tech. Thank you, sir. This is one of my shortest songs. I think I have wrote my two shortest songs ever in my career that are on this record, and this is one of them. And as I was thinking about it just a few minutes ago, doing my pre-performance I was trying to remember who did I write this song about, because it's a story song, and I love story songs, and I always want to try to write more of them. And this is sort of like a fast-paced story song. And the first line is where it started. She left before the rice was thrown, and as I recalled, I actually was she, but I made it a she so that you wouldn't know that it was a me. She left before the rice was thrown, in a borrowed dress that did mama best, 'cause she couldn't afford her own. The party was anxious for her to arrive, but she fears that dancer won't take the chance, so she slams her car and drive, and she runs. In her mind, she flies it, and she'll find no matter where love will track her down, she will find her out. You can try to steal away what you think is safe, but there'll be one who is waiting to lift her up off of the ground by flipping your world upside down with a love that knows no bounds. Spinning top too tightly wound, speeding through the streets of raggedy soul cheats, death on the holy ground. Could be more to this life that she lives, but she's tethered to masking the truth and unable to forgive, so she runs. In her mind, she flies, yeah. But she'll find no matter track her down, it will find her out. She will hit the ground, thrown to her knees. You can try to steal away what you think is safe, but there'll be one who is waiting to lift you up off of the ground by flipping your world upside down with a love that knows no end. You can try to steal away what you think it's safe, but there'll be one who is waiting to lift you up off of the ground by flipping your world upside down with a love that knows no bounds. Even when you can't come around, this could be the day when you are found. Come on. Wrote that with my good friend. Whoa. Wrote that with my good friend Danny Donnelly out in Los Angeles, and dear friend, and he was the guy that actually played guitar on my Side Streets record, and he actually played on the Silence in Between album. But he was not, I did not know him for this record, but just want to show this again because it's a weekly event that if you order anything off of my website, I will send you a signed cassette because I've got 21 of them left now. I only got rid of one last week during the Christmas extravaganza. But if you want, order anything off the website, ChristopherW.com/shop, and I will send you one. If you write a note in there and ask kindly, I'll send you two. If you would like. This is a song that seems to ring for a lot of people, and it's a song that well, this whole record, as I showed you the awesome artwork, the whole record is it was sort of like not a coming of age. That's just not the right way to say it, but a reckoning. That's not the right word either. Yeah, no, it's a reckoning. Reckoning seems like the right word. Reckoning with my heart. We'll just say, in the sense that I had moved to Nashville. I had made one record here. This is the second record, and my dad was in the process of getting sick and eventually passing away, and I'll talk about that. But it was also a time of kind of great discovery and the chance that I got to travel internationally really for the first time and go to my first third world country. My first third world country. That sounds funny. That would be a great band name, my first third. Or maybe an album name. First. Yep. Write that down. And I got to go with the guys in Jars of Clay and that I think I might have spoken about last 2 records ago. And we got to do some work with a nonprofit that they started called Bloodwater Mission, and it was my first experience in Africa. And if you have been to the continent of Africa, it sort of blows your mind. And so there's a few songs on this record about that I will get to, but this one is called Circus, and it really has nothing to do with the circus. It actually has more to do with Superman, and I was thinking about Superman one afternoon when I was up in New York. I grew up in the town of Briarcliff Manor, New York, and when I was with my dad as he was ailing, and I remember going to a pizza place over in Chappaqua, New York, where the Clintons live, and just a little small, you know. And I went to the pizza place, and I was running some errands, I think, for my dad, and because he couldn't get out anymore, and I remember thinking, sort of being really thoughtful about the character of Superman and the idea that I never quite understood that everybody knows he's Clark Kent. I mean, it's Clark Kent. He's Clark Kent. Superman, Clark Kent, the same. It's the same dude. He just has glasses off, and then he takes his glasses off, and he's got a cape. Yeah, I was always confused by that. And I was thinking about Superman, and I was thinking about being strong and somewhat trying to fake that I was being strong in the midst of this hard season that I was in. And so I wrote this song. It's originally about Superman, but I didn't have the chorus, and the chords kind of fell out on my friend Jake Armerding's guitar. He just bought this sweet 50s old archtop guitar, and he was in my driveway in New York, and he wanted to show it to me, and I grabbed it and I detuned it like I have it now, and these chords just fell out, and the song kind of fell out from there. And then I was at a wedding in Knoxville, Tennessee, after my dad passed away, and I was driving back from New York to Nashville, which is a pretty long drive, especially in the midst of grief and sadness. And I stopped in Knoxville and met my wife there because she was the best lady in a wedding, and I didn't really want to be there, to be honest, and I was supposed to play in the wedding, and thankfully my wife got me out of that gig because I would have been a hot mess if I tried to. And I was up in the second floor of our friend Adela's house where the bridal party was staying and where the wedding was, and I wanted to be as far away as possible from all of that. And so I was upstairs, and it was the day before the wedding, and the caterers showed up, and they were putting up this gigantic circus tent in the back because it was October, and early October, and you never know what the weather's going to be like. And so they put this tent up for the reception afterwards. And Adela is a very tall friend, and she lives in a very tall house, and so everything is just tall. And so I was sitting in the back of the house on the second floor, and the circus tent went up. But the beautiful thing was it actually went up beneath me, so I was above the circus tent, and I was watching them kind of put it up. And I thought, this is kind of a unique view to have this. And all of a sudden, the song about Superman just kind of took a very serious turn towards the circus. I've been practicing standing with my back up against the wall to give the impression that I'm ready to get the call. 'Cause I'm still the man if you really think I can save you from it all. 'Cause I can't even save myself. I'm my own one-man wrecking ball. The circus is coming to town. Everybody knows I'm coming down. The circus is coming to town. Everybody knows I'm coming down, down, down. Used to dream of flying till my feet left the ground, and now I leap over buildings in a single bound, scaling heights under cover of a night is not what brings me down. It's my fear of falling and that you'll really find me out. The circus is coming to town. Everybody knows I'm coming down. The circus is coming to town. Everybody knows I'm coming down, 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 down. The bright lights, the big top. This roadshow must need a man of steel who can hold up the illusion that everything in this world seems real. The circus is coming to town. Everybody knows I'm coming down. The circus is coming to town, and everybody knows. The circus is coming to town, and everybody knows I'm coming down. The circus is coming to town, and everybody knows I'm coming down, 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 down. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're going to a country or a continent like Africa, I should say. We went to Kenya and Ethiopia and Uganda, and I kind of had my perspective blown wide open, and in the best of ways, and so there's a couple songs on here of me kind of wrestling with that, and I know that it was no coincidence It was no coincidence that that happened after my dad passed away, and or in the process of that. I went twice, and I want to read something that I found from February 10th, 2007. This record came out, I don't remember, in 2008, but I don't remember what the month was in 2008. I should know that, but I didn't journal about any of that stuff. What'd you say? Yes, it was. Maybe we'll talk about that. Spending the day yesterday ensconced in the sounds of Africa makes me miss it terribly. Viewing some of the images of the terrain and the faces and the experiences, I knew that I would miss it, but hearing the voices and the singing and the joy and the laughter and the soft-spoken gentleness and so many of the people, that's what makes me long for it even more. We truly got to step into their lives and experiences. I should say that the first place that we really spent a lot of time was in a little village called the Walla, which is about a couple hours outside of Kisumu in Kenya. And it struck me in the Walla with almost every interaction that we had, this is their lives all the time. Not just when white Americans come to visit, like they were showing off for us. This is truly the way that they live every day. The difficult simplicity of how they have to make their food in what we would deem challenging circumstances, to the simple houses they live in, thatched roofs and mud and dung walls, to the bare feet and the torn and reworn clothing, to the claiming of water and having to walk so far to get it, several times a day. And the reality that they were drinking, what they were drinking, was not even close to being clean. I saw the water. I saw what bathed in the water. I used the water to wash my hands, not to drink it. And to not have what the simple things that I would call necessities, like running water, electricity, a place to buy groceries, walls that would keep us warm in the cold and cool in the heat, the ability to secure what temperatures we desire, modes of transport that we deemed as a right, not an extreme luxury. All of these things we have, and yet we carry nothing near the amount of joy that most Africans we met conveyed. A deep, deep joy, and a gratitude for the simple things that we Westerners often complain about or don't recognize as simple gifts. Is it as simple as the more you have, the more you feel entitled to, and the more you feel entitled to, the more you are allowed to feel aggravation over those things when they don't work or are spoiled for some reason? Or is it less joy because of lack? I wonder if we were to bring our simple life needs to the villagers of Luwala, would their community change and become more like ours? Would the injection of things change who they are, their expectations, and give them a sense of entitlement? I'm not sure the answer to that question, but I know I do long for the joy that I witnessed and was welcome into. I have seen the eyes of hunger, I have seen the face of thirst, the laughter of the African children, and in the wealthy, well-dressed white man's church. The way I see there ain't much difference. Both are sinners in a world of need, but I don't know, Lord, what to do with how much they look a lot like me, how much they look a lot like me, how much a lot like me, yeah. Deeper, deeper into the wisdom, well, deeper, deeper down into the wisdom, well, dropping down into wisdom, wisdom. Well, have tasted dirty water from a well dug by my own hand. I was proud but always thirsty, too strong-willed to understand. Let me don't be high and mighty, oh, the line and lower me down, so I can touch the living water. That is where my hope is found. Deeper, deeper into the wisdom well. Deeper, deeper, drop me into the wisdom well. Down into the wisdom well. Through the darkness to the bottom, below the surface and buried deep. Lord, you brought me here to give me wisdom that my soul can keep. Deeper, deeper into the wisdom well. Deeper, deeper down into the wisdom well. Down into the wisdom well. Wisdom well. Thank you. Well, it wouldn't be a live stream show unless I took a piece of clothing off, so.
Really unbuttoned on that second one.
You have to wear these. You got to wear these rock and roll shirts with. I was just tucking the collar down there so that you wouldn't see it. But it's important. I've learned, if I've learned one thing about being a musician is it's very important to wear these rock and roll shirts with it unbuttoned like that. I just can't undo. It's so rock and roll that I can't actually get my hand out of the other shirt right now. There it is. So yeah, I went through a phase. You like that? There it is. Just kidding. I'm just. Oh gosh, it's so terrible. I can't do that. I love to have a drink though, because that's very rock and roll too. We've had a special cocktail for each concert. Last week, since it was the Unbroken Song live stream, my wife made something. What was it? I forgot. Pomegranate peppermint mule. Doesn't that sound delightful? And this is a Smoky Manhattan. And do you want to explain why you made a Smoky Manhattan tonight?
Yeah, Smoky Manhattan in honor of Bob Williams.
Bob was my dad. Chainsaw Bob was one of his nicknames.
3 reasons.
3 reasons.
He's a man of few but confident words.
He was a man of few but confident words.
When you hear the phrase Smoky Manhattan, you know what you're going to get. 2 words, confident.
2 confident words, okay.
Second reason. My biggest memory of Bob Williams is him sitting by the fire in the family room that was wood paneled with his hand tucked into his shirt. Christopher, if you could model.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was
resting
just
pose.
strolling some comments here.
Resting pose.
Yes, he actually probably had it down here because he was a rock and roll star.
Well, it was buttoned. It was like in between the
Oh yeah, oh that's right, he was. I don't know if I can do that.
There you go.
Sort of like that.
In front of the fireplace, so Smokey, and lived right outside of New York City.
He did.
Manhattan.
I grew up right outside New York City, and so therefore,
And I only know that
Smoky
he liked
Manhattan.
Montepulciano wine, and I didn't know if he liked cocktails, so I just made that decision.
he was not a he was not a cocktail drinker much, though I remember, but he was a man of regularity and consistency, much like his son. And all of my friends here know that I have a very strong, consistent bent about me. And so every time we had pizza, he would have Rolling Rock beer for some reason. That was always it. Or he would have Montepulciano wine. That was his go-to wine. And I'm not sure why that was exactly, but that's what he did. So, Smoky Manhattan. To Bob.
Cheers.
To Bob.
Cheers.
Cheers, Bob. Bob. Mm. Bob. That's my son. He does not have a Smoky Manhattan.
I had water.
You have water, yes.
Chris George would like to point out that you grew up in New York City, but you like the Red Sox.
Yes, thank you, Chris. That is very true. I hate the Yankees. So if there's any Bucknell or any Briarcliff alumni that are watching, I'm so sorry, including you, Eric Levinson, because I know you love the Yankees, but I hate the Yankees. If I were given a choice to cheer for anyone else and the Yankees, I would cheer for anyone else. Oh, I should also show this shirt. This is why I don't wear this shirt anymore. Are you ready?
Yes. Wow.
Yeah. I was in a phase, and I
It
don't.
was short-lived.
It was. I know. What? I don't. Does it say something?
Unclear. It looks letter-esque.
Some words up there.
What does it say, Caleb? What can you read?
I can't read it.
There you go.
It says
It says
wax.
nothing.
It says
Leave it
wax
to the
star.
imagination.
Leave it to the imagination. But I thought it would be fun, as we've done in every show, to wear something from the actual album. So this is that shirt in 2008, brand new. A lot of the clothes actually that I bought for this photo shoot. And if you remember, I didn't have a fashion consultant for this one. This was just me going solo. I had a fashion consultant once. It was. You have to go back a couple shows. What was that? That was for when I was
Very
everything.
expensive, and
It was
all
very
the pictures
expensive.
ended up being black and white, even though
Is that the hats?
the clothing weren't.
No, but I should thank you for that memory. Remembering, I'll put that on at some point. But I went through a phase where I discovered a store called Buckle, I think it's called, and they have all these cool shirts, and I thought that I was really cool in these shirts.
Oh my god.
There it is.
Mom, turn your eyes away. And
This button in the side strip.
And most of the ones that I got for the photo shoot, I don't know where they are, probably because I returned them after I did the photo shoot. But this is one that stayed. This one stayed in. No Paisley. That was last record, Bill. The Paisley was last record. This I moved on to Ripped. I don't know what you'd call it. Yeah. You may be an ambassador to England or to France. You might like to gamble, you might like to dance. You might be the heavyweight champion of the world. You might be a socialite with a long string of pearls. You might be a rock and roll star prancing on the stage. You might have drugs at your command, women in a cage. You might be the president of some other high-degree thief. They may call you doctor, or they may call you chief, but you're gonna have to serve somebody. You're gonna have to serve somebody. It might be the devil, or it might be the Lord, but you're gonna have to serve somebody. You might be a state trooper rolling on your turf. You might be the head of some big TV network. You might be rich or poor, you might be blind or lame. You might be living in another country under another name, but you're gonna have to serve somebody. Yeah, you're gonna have to serve somebody. Yeah. It might be the devil or it might be the Lord, but you're gonna have to serve somebody. You might like to wear cotton. You might like to wear silk. You might like to drink whiskey, or you might even like to drink milk. You might like to eat caviar, you might even like to eat bread. You might be sleeping on the floor, sleeping in that king-size bed, but you're gonna have to serve somebody. You're gonna have to serve somebody. It might be the devil, or it might be the Lord, but you're gonna have to serve somebody. You can call me Terry, you can call me Timmy, you may call me C-Dub, or you might even call me Zimmy. You can call me OJ, or you might even call me Ray. You can call me anything, but no matter what you say, still gonna have to serve somebody. You're gonna have to serve to get it. Somebody. It might be the devil, or it might be the Lord, but you're gonna have to serve somebody. You might be the devil, or it might be the Lord. It might be the devil, or it might be the Lord. It might be the devil, or it might be the Lord, but you're gonna have to serve somebody. Yeah, come on. Give it up for a little Bob Dylan. Let's hear it to Bob Dylan right there, because that's his song. What's up, Bob? Bob Dylan. It's a good song. So I've gotten a few speeding tickets over the course of my lifetime, which is to be expected for the amount of miles that I've driven over the years. Do you have a lot too? Have you written a song in response to a speeding ticket? Okay. Well, this was... I was in Ames, Iowa, playing a show in 2007, I believe. And I remember it wasn't the best show. And sometimes when you don't have a good show, it sort of just kind of gets inside your head a little bit, and you might get frustrated. That's never, I mean, maybe that's happened once or twice in my time of 26 years. But this particular evening, I remember being frustrated. And sometimes when you're in the middle of nowhere like Ames, Iowa, and you're hungry and you have to drive a couple of hours to the next place, to the hotel or wherever you're going to the next gig, there's very few options. And so often I would, in my disgust and my anger, would treat myself to Wendy's. And that does nothing except upset your internal body as much as your external mind, body, soul, spirit. And so I remember I hit Wendy's and I got on the highway, and I believe that I was on the phone with you, Suze, if I'm remembering correctly. And I was eating French fries. Yes. No, this is after. I got the food and I hit the highway, and I got on the highway. I was driving and eating French fries and talking to you, perhaps, at the same time. And I remember I was just getting up to speed, and I got pulled over. It was like I literally was in the moment of accelerating and eating a French fry, and what's that?
Big two.
At the Big Two, yes. I don't remember. I usually go bacon. I usually go single with bacon. That's usually my late night. You know. No frosty. Just a
You ever
giant.
eat the French fry in the frosty?
When I was a kid, yeah.
My mom told me that. French fries and fries.
Yeah, I didn't do it. And so I was feeling bad. I was feeling bad on the outside. I was feeling bad on the inside. And then I got pulled over, and I got a gigantic speeding ticket, which probably the fee was probably what I made at the gig that night, or more than what I had made at the gig. And I remember just being just kind of sick with myself. That I would allow something to spiral myself down, and then I would just add to it, and then they would add, and it was just one of those kind of drill down moments. And the next morning, I wrote this song in response. Haven't you grown tired of all these empty words of mine? Confessions of a broken man who is crying out to be heard. More by my own ears than by yours. Spoken just to fill the emptiness I would have given up on me. So I would have given up on me, given this heart and this unbelief. Yes, I would have given up on me. I beg you will listen, then I turn away when you speak. This house of mine seeks everything, but lives only to glorify me. More by my own voice than by yours. To hide what's hidden in this house behind closed doors. Well, I would have given up on me. Yes, I would have given up on me. Given this heart and this unbelief. Yes, I would have given up on me. But you still come. You come to me and meet my every need. Yes, you, despite me, meet my every need. Even when I would have given up on me. Yes, I would have given up on me. Given this heart, this unbelief. Given this heart and this unbelief. Given my heart and my unbelief. Yes, I would have given up on me. Yes, I would have given up on me. When I die, don't bury me, because this body needs no stone of memory. And when I die, don't bury me. Just take my ashes to my Father in the deep blue sea. When it's my time to leave this world, take me quickly, please, oh Lord. I don't want to linger longer than my soul, spirit can afford. I don't need no fancy gravestone, nor a shining box of wood. Take the money you've been spending, give some hope to those who need it. When I die, don't bury me, 'cause this body needs no stone of memory. When I die, don't bury me, just take my ashes to the deep blue sea. I will see you on the other side of this life without grief. The devil will have no hold on us, nor tempt our souls, nor taint I believe. Yeah, when I die, don't bury me, 'cause this body needs no stone of memory. Yeah. When I die, don't bury me, just take my ashes to the deep blue sea. Yeah. I have been in hard times like this, stuck in the valley with no way out. Where we're heading, there's nothing like here. I'll be ready to hear my Father shout. There won't be no trumpets blowing, nor no angels crying for me. 'Cause I'm a sinner born of this world, and I'm going to Jesus and be set free. Yeah, when I die, don't bury me, 'cause this body needs no stone of memory. Yeah. When I die, don't bury me, just take my ashes to the deep blue sea. Yeah. When I die, don't bury me. When I die, don't bury me. When I die, don't bury me, just take my ashes to the deep blue sea. Take my ashes to the deep blue sea. Take my ashes to my Father in the deep blue sea. Yeah. All right. How's everybody doing out there? Everybody doing all right? Hope you're doing all right. People watching up here, I hope. We're having a good time. If not, what's that?
It's a lot of buttons.
A lot of buttons. Do you want one more down? Okay, there you go.
One more up, maybe.
It's my wife speaking. One more up, please. Shall I go all the way up? No, that feels comfortable. Is that okay, babe? Okay, cool. I wrote this song with my friend Andy Gullenhorn, and Andy, you're also, I didn't think about that, neighbors to my friends who are here right now. He said have a great show. Oh, that's so sweet. Andy, wish me a great show. There was I was so hoping that I had a journal entry that I could read for this song, but I could not find one that was good. I did find a little sort of snippet about when I was trying to write this song, and was about my dad leading his family in sort of the spiritual world. And there was a season back when I was a kid that we had not found the church that really sort of was speaking to my dad and to his family, to us, to my mom, and so my dad decided that he would hold his own service in the backyard, and we grew up in the Episcopal Church, and so we just grabbed the Book of Common Prayer and we went in the back and we huddled around this rock that was massive to me. But now that I am older, when I went back there before we sold the house, it was probably about 1.5 feet off the ground. But I remember sitting on that like it was just a massive rock. And I remember my dad in the late 70s in a blue sweatsuit with white stripes going down the side, and I probably had on like loose, gigantic soccer shorts. My mom was probably in some sweet 70s blouse. Mom, can you confirm that? If you're watching, can you confirm what you might have been wearing? Mom, what were you wearing? That was very direct, wasn't it? But it was a sweet season and now that I think about it, it was so sweet. And I just thought of this, that in this season of the COVIDs, as I call it, where we have not been able to actually attend a church in a building, what a beautiful thing it was that we were in the backyard of this house that I grew up in having church, and during this COVID season, we just kind of decided that we would have church in our front yard. So the last several months, except for July, because it was so ridiculously hot and humid here in Nashville, Tennessee, we set up a little sound system. We invited our friends over, and we've been having church in our front yard, and it has been so sweet. Just singing with the birds, reading some scripture, doing some liturgy. It's been really, really powerful, and I actually just made that connection in my brain from now to back then.
Babs said she was probably wearing a matching
Mom, for the win! Come on, everybody, up for Babs. Come on, to Babs.
Cheers.
Mom, that was a good one. That was a good one. But it was a sweet memory, and I hope that my child who is reading over on the bed and probably not listening, it will be a sweet memory for him too. He wore a blue sweatsuit as he broke the bread. With dirt beneath our feet and oak trees overhead. There was no steeple, there was no wall to there. But he said God would meet us anywhere. Oh, the steps we take. Oh, the steps we take. Oh, the steps we take along the way will be on holy ground. We'll be on holy ground. And I remember sitting away before the dawn, knowing all the ways I had done him wrong. And he said, Luke, those words you said to me was screaming loud, it was screaming loud. They said it's never too late to turn around. Oh, the steps we take, oh, the steps we take, oh, the steps we take along the way will be on holy ground, will be on holy ground. Be on holy ground. I bought a used black suit to go back home. I stood beneath those trees as his wayward son. We sang Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. And I made my peace as we laid him down. Oh, the steps we take, oh, the steps we take, oh, the steps we take along the way beyond holy ground. Oh, the steps we take, oh, the steps we take, oh, the steps we take along the way beyond holy ground. They'll be on holy ground, holy ground. Holy ground. Thank you. Thursday, May something, Naples, Florida. I sit annoyed by the flies this morning as I try to burn out this sickness that is me in its grips. This time away has not been outstanding because of exhaustion and the pressure I'm feeling to get work done while I'm here, just a lack of actual accomplishment. The studio session is quickly approaching. Sure, the songs are there, but I feel no energy to want to try and flush them out to completion. Yeah, I have a week when I get back, but that is all, and I'm not sure if it'll be enough time. I would really like to finish this easy song, but I'm having trouble honing it in and narrowing down the subject matter, overthinking and going back to my old ways of writing. Am I over-spiritualizing things? Am I trying to say too much? All I want is to say, no one said it'd be easy. And that the more you learn, the harder it is to come to terms with your own existence some days and the choices that you make. Maybe that should be the focus, without making it an angry song. Maybe that would simplify it. Focus on the choices. No one said it'd be easy to live a life not your own. That's pretty simple. Maybe not even their choices until the end, when the choice comes down to whether to walk miles for clean water or drink from the river that is dirty but closer and easier. Choices that hint at our lifestyle but never say it outright. Hinting at the wealth and the things we have, and the choices aren't really hard choices, because whatever we decide will still be more than what our African friends have. Every day we have choices to make that allow us to think about someone else before ourselves. Be it in the car, making a turn, allowing someone to go ahead of me, standing in a line at the grocery store, walking past a homeless person, serving my wife by making her dinner, helping a neighbor who needs a hand in their yard, stopping for someone who crashed their car, calling a long-distance friend when you're thinking about them, holding a door for an elderly person. These are all choices. But often, the only choice I make will benefit myself. Jesus, where are you? Do you not see the simple need of the hungry? How can you let this be? When I look at this world, it's hard to believe that you still care for the least of these. He is my brother from 1,000 worlds away, with different skin, different eyes, but he aches just the same. That thin red line that joins our fate is the one thing that shows us your power beyond the grave. No one said it'd be easy to choose a life not your own. No one said it'd be easy, but by his blood we will be known. By his blood. Jesus, take this body to where it belongs. Break it into pieces by your love, make it strong. Give it the courage to live a life that responds to the gospel of love that your sacrifice has won. No one said it'd be easy to choose a life and not your own. No one said it'd be easy, but by his blood we will be known. It's not the weight of what I see, but the truth that's killing me. I love myself above all else and need to be free. No one said it'd be easy to choose a life not your own. No one said it'd be easy, but by his blood by his blood we will be known. By his blood, by his blood it will be known. Thanks. We've only got a few more songs, 10, 11, 12. 3 of the shortest songs I've ever written, actually. And I hope that you've been enjoying these. Next week will be this record here, which also features the same shirt that I'm wearing right now. Same photo shoot, just multiply it, you know. But next week, I might wear this shirt. Just because. And this, oh gosh, it's falling apart, apparently. And this is a live record that is not available at all in disc form, but it is available on the interwebs. This is my second live record called Something As Simple. And a few of these songs you'll get to hear again next week, but I might put a different spin on them. I'm not quite sure.
Will you hold a light bulb like that?
I will hold a light bulb just like that, and it will light without being plugged in.
It's a big promise.
That is a very big promise. There you go.
Like when Caleb's here.
Something as simple. So yeah, we'll do that next week, 9 p.m. And I also wanted to let you know that I added, there were only going to be 10 of these live streams, and I added an 11th. But it's actually the 7th. Is that right? 6th. No, is it?
Too much math.
I don't remember. No, is it next week?
No, 7.
Yeah, 7. Because next week I'm doing this record. And then after that, I felt like it would be a break, and some people suggested this, that I'm just going to do a cover night. So all of those crazy covers that you perhaps have heard me sing, like Genie in a Bottle,
Oh my gosh, yes.
or maybe Call Me Maybe, or maybe Everybody Wants to Rule the World, or I might go way back as well. And I'm going to have some special guests with me, and it's Nashville, so you never know who that might be, because Vince Gill might just walk in the door. You never know. But so we're going to do something as simple, and then we're going to do a cover night, and then we'll resume with the Throwback Thursday with whatever album is next. I've lost track at this point. But this has been a blast, and I hope that you've been enjoying the time. And it's been rich for me just to kind of dive back into things that have been beautiful and things that have been hard, and reading these journals that I'm about to read from. And in particular, I just feel like I've just seen God's faithfulness throughout my 26 years of doing this, which has been really rich for me to just kind of remember that I've gotten to do this thing that I love to do for so long. And even when I was a complete tool in my 20s and 30s and maybe 40s up until I just turned 50. That he's been faithful, and I hope I get to continue it. And speaking of, if you are enjoying yourselves and want to donate, Venmo, PayPal, my wife's going to post that. That'd be super great. And again, I'll send you a free cassette if you order anything off of my website. I'll send you 2 of them because that's how much I love you.
The t-shirts are very comfortable.
The t-shirts are very comfortable, Elizabeth says. So yeah, if you want to give, donate, I would love that, because I'm not probably going on the road for a while, and I want to keep doing this. I don't want to go get work at Home Depot or anything like that. So nothing against Home Depot. I spend a lot of money at Home Depot, and I know where every single thing is in the store, but I'd rather not work there. So anyway, okay, I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to play a song. And this is from February 18th, 2007, and the year after my dad passed away, I think it was sort of that year, my wife will confirm by nodding her head, we sort of affectionately refer to that year as the year that I did not speak, which is not really a good thing. It was not an affectionate thing my wife nodded to, like this. It was a hard year. I lost my dad, and that was incredibly difficult. And I didn't have a lot of words for it for a long time. I still sometimes don't have words for it. So I was doing a little digging today, and I found this, and it's long. I'm just going to say it's long, but that's why I precursed with we only have 3 more songs left, and they're all short. But I think it's important, and I pray that it blesses somebody out there. And it will give you a little bit of an insight to the song that I'm about to sing, which I probably haven't sung in maybe 9 or 10 years. So My job now is to write about the final days of my dad's life, and it is fitting that I sit in a quiet house because that is the house he inhabited. Within his body, within his mind, and within 12 Plumwood Road. All of that time he had to himself in the quiet house, sitting alone to process the inevitable of what lay before him, his ailing body, his weakening strength. He didn't look in the mirror much, like father, like son, because he had no need to. He didn't have to see how he looked. He knew by how he felt. Although every day he walked by the full-length mirror in that corridor to his bedroom, I bet not once did he stop to gaze at what his body had become for all of the time he spent in that lime green tiled bathroom, meeting with the president. That's what he would say when he had to go to the bathroom. He'd say, "I'm meeting with the president." Rarely did he had a very dry sense of humor, Bob. Rarely did he look in the mirror. Probably not when he washed his hands, doubtful when he brushed his teeth, rarely when he gathered enough strength to bathe. I know this because he never commented on his skin color, not once. And Mom never said anything to him when she noticed his complexion change. The blood left him, his once rosy cheeks left him, the color of health left him, and when it stayed more than a couple days, she knew the path would not be long. He had beautiful and forgiving eyes, blue and strong, but even they lost their strength when bathed in a pool of light yellow. He lost weight month after month as his body fought the disease and its unnecessary chemical treatment. And it became bearable the more it became normal. To look at photos of him 5 or 6 years before, he looked plump as if happily fed and strong. But it wasn't until the shade of yellow came to stay that we knew the end was coming. It didn't look right, somehow unnatural and definitely unhealthy, and there was a feeling of helplessness as his conversation and his mood shifted. It became unbearable by evidence of him finally complaining about the pain he felt. My father was a selfless man, partly generational and partly his spirit, but he never wanted to burden you with what ailed him. Most of his chemical career, he would speak of the unpleasantries only when prodded, and even then would it be described briefly with one word: funk. Chemo-funk. Because the catchphrase for those first few days after the chemicals ran their course through his body and he lived in an unpleasant place of sleepiness and needing to go to the bathroom. Not a very good place to be for a man who was normally sharp, dry-humored, and who lived in an organized life of diligence to his tasks. His very nature was stripped away by this disease and all its unpleasantries. So in the quietness of this house, he spent his final years, final months and days, often perched in the corner of the couch in the family room where he could view the coming and going of headlights, the easily accessible remote to their tiny TV, and the large picture window out into the vision that was his backyard and garden, where various creatures, as he called them, would stroll or fly by, connecting him to that outside world he so dearly missed. As Dad's health declined, his journeys into the outside would become less and less. And as the weather stayed warm, I tried, sometimes with little success, to get him down the driveway to do one lap back and forth down Plumwood Road, always claiming the excuse to get the blood flowing. But more because I knew his heart, as troubled as it was, that someone would see his deteriorated body. He craved being outside, and I longed for the ease of conversation that putting one foot in front of the other brings. That became a lyric, actually, putting one foot in front of the other in 2 records. And even if there was no conversation, the silence was more embraced because we were moving forward, moving somewhere, and seeing the beauty of green trees and grass and hearing the sounds unable to be heard behind closed windows. I knew as the days in between walks grew in number that the end was coming soon. Our friend Molly, who has Down syndrome, stated on Friday that hospice is a bad idea because people that go to hospice always die. Hospice, then death. As if in her mind the two are linked like in the Matrix as a cause and effect. Of course, to her, that simple connection is justified and makes perfect sense, and in some ways, she's correct because hospice's claim is that it's all about being comfortable, keeping the sick comfortable. Dad laughed about that because they offered him all of these things that he didn't need, but he joked that, hey, they're free, so why not? So they brought the shower chair, and they brought the walker, and they brought the canes, they brought the potty chair with the cool cushions, and they brought the brown lifting massage reclining chair, and eventually they brought the hospital bed. The brown recliner was a big hit with Dad, as it allowed him to stay in the comfortable living room where it was always warm. But it took the place of the patio chair. The thing was massive, and it became a focal point of the room, especially as he got weaker because he didn't leave it often. One of the best conversations I had with my father was Labor Day weekend, the month before he died, when I returned home on a 2-day journey in between tours. I didn't know why I made the decision to go at the time, other than the obvious one of his deterioration, but it was one of the smartest things I have done because it was the last real conversation I had with my father in person. He sat in that big brown chair, fully reclined, and I sat on the couch. We talked on and off, in between him dozing off, about his life, his regrets, his dreams, how he loved his life, his beloved wife, and his 3 boys. I asked him pointedly about things, and I praised him in how he raised me in the life he had made. There was a sense of closure in that conversation, maybe not closure, but finality, as we all knew he was slipping away. The times in between waking and sleeping became longer, and sleeping was winning as his strength waned. I remember being saddened by his inability to eat, or I guess by his appetite. But that last month, if he craved something, I made it my mission to go get it, whatever it was. Even though he may not eat it, I felt this desire to supply him with whatever he wanted, maybe just some small way to give to him, even if the gift was not fully realized. Those days in the brown recliner stretched on longer, like the scene from Avalon, where day falls into night, and in one darkening, Sam gains 15 years. My favorite movie is called Avalon. Go watch it. And the recliner eventually gave way to hospice, bringing the hospital bed. I remember making that call to bring the bed, knowing how hard it was for both my mom and dad to sleep, despite my father's brilliant organizational mind to create his own pattern plan for how to rouse himself out of bed with a chair and 2 canes. I distinctly remember Mom describing to me the sadness she felt over recognizing Dad's pain as he sat on the edge of their bed, trying to gain enough strength to pick himself up with 2 canes, and the process that it became to take himself to the bathroom. Determined, he did it several times a night, but each day he grew weaker until he was unable. I remember the morning he decided he wasn't going to get out of bed at all, and I think it was that moment that we knew it would soon be over. His strength had left him, and he no longer had the will to move. He had decided last spring, as the effects of his disease were becoming more apparent and less treatable, that he wanted to die in his house, in his bed, looking out at the garden on the vision that he had created. The vision served as his sign of life, his hope of life. He wanted to see nothing dead from his window, and one morning he pointed out all that which he could see he wanted removed: the weeds, the dead branches, the dried grasses. He wanted only that which was alive and green and visible from his window. And I spent the entire weekend attending to his needs. It was something so simple and small that my hands could tend to, almost as if it was my way to grieve before he left me. I spent many hours of my youth, like I did that weekend, working for my father to make him proud of my accomplishments. I'm not sure where that understanding came from, but I still feel it today as I have my own house, my own vision, which is the backyard, always intermittently picking up my head to see if he was watching, to see if he is noticing how hard I was working, always wanting him to be proud of me and my hard work. There was a simple task he asked me to do. I must have been in middle school. I was clearing weeds in the space in our wooded backyard. Amidst the pachysandra and the trees, I weeded and I extended the path I was told to clear and made this extra path wide enough for the tractor, like I had just built a highway of immense proportion. All the while thinking to myself, he's going to be so proud. He's going to think, this is amazing, unbelievable. And I half expect him to be there when I pick up my head in the middle of working. And I also get sad knowing that he will never see and never saw the hard work I did on my vision. To my vision. I have my own vision, but he will never see it. My father opened the door with his declaration and decision that he wanted to die in his own bedroom, looking at his vision. His honesty and forthrightness opened the door for his family to speak about it. He faced it as head-on as anyone from his generation could, and he did it with dignity and grace, something that I can only strive for. For up until those final days, my father remained at peace as much as one could be for having a body ravaged by disease. And in those final days, he was relegated to the hospital bed as his strength had completely left him. One instance that will forever be etched in my mind was a sadly enlightening experience I shared with my father the week before he passed. He desired to be bathed and had enough strength to get himself to the bathroom, and I helped him undress from his green turtleneck, loose around the neck, and his green and blue pajama bottoms, and he was able to get into the shower himself and bathe himself barely, but I stood out the door crying with nothing else I could do. Honestly, nothing I could do. I don't ever remember seeing my father naked before, and yet here I was helping him with basic life function. As he stood himself up, balancing on two legs with his cane, I dried his meager body of bones and yellow skin, gently, strong, lovingly. I should have never have to see this. No one should. And yet, here we are. We're human. He's my father. I'm his son. He brought me into this world, and I will help usher him out. Never once in that moment did he comment of embarrassment. Never once did he lose his dignity as his son tended to him. He accepted my actions with a thankful heart, but I might have been more thankful for the opportunity to give to my father in that way, that at that time, that I would have never imagined. In those final days of his life, his thanks was not said, nor did it need to be. The morning he decided he didn't want to get out of bed was the morning we knew it was coming soon. He wasn't eating much anymore, nor did he desire much beyond water and popsicles. He slept much of the days and nights, occasionally waking to make a statement. He would make motions with his hands as if he were dreaming, and often spoke numbers as if calculating for Mom's survival. Each hour he slipped further and further away as we took shifts being with him and waiting for those moments of lucidity when he woke and appeared present, sometimes for just seconds, but each moment worth being there for a glimpse into the soul of the man we knew. Almost as if this body ravaged by this disease became less and less of a reality. But with each moment he awoke, a presence was connected and allowed to shine through. It was my father, but he looked nothing like my father. That face of agony, mouth wide open, clutching wrinkles that snatches of breaths would erase. And his eyes, those eyes once blue and gently strong, were closed constantly, opening only in small windows when he heard a new voice or a conversation that sparked him, or when someone held his hand and whispered, "I love you." The skin on his face hung from his bones, much like the rest of his body. The muscles deteriorated, and the color of his skin signified the lack of life. He was skin and bones. He truly was just skin and bones. And I sat in the corner one morning when I was alone in the house with him, in the blue chair in the bedroom, staring at my father, who lay in a hospital bed across from me, and I wept. How had it come to this? I wept as quietly as I could, but it was uncontrollable. With the backdrop of music constantly playing on my computer and a playlist that I had made, I was overcome only to stop when he awoke and asked for me. I couldn't let him see me cry. I couldn't. I have no idea why. Like my being strong is going to have any bearing on him. There were several moments I sobbed uncontrollably, and never before had I experienced this kind of sadness. Never before in my lifetime have I cried tears like this. Never before. I knew it was coming. I wasn't ready. It's not like you can be ready, even though I felt a sense of no regret with him in terms of our conversations and our understanding of and our love for one another and what was impending. I wasn't ready. I'm still not ready. But he's gone. And I still have a deep, deep sadness that I don't know what to do with. I'm not ready for you to go anywhere just yet. There is much more living to be done, even though you have no regret. It may be hard to see through this cliche, but let love prepare your way. When you reach out your hand from the darkness will extend. One who will take hold of you with the strength of 10,000 men. 'Cause he has been here before and knows of your pain. So let love prepare your way. You need not be perfect, no strong in your pain. Just trust where you are and call out his name. This love has made your home. This love has made your home, and this love will prepare your way. But I'm not ready for you to go anywhere just yet. Thanks, y'all. Here we go again. It's all the same. A familiar scene, but we call it by a different name. It's just an alibi of innocence. You work so hard for it all to just make sense, but it won't make sense. When it falls apart, the pieces fit, but you won't see it till you're blinded. You can let it go, hold it tight. When you lose your life, you will find it, find it. Oh, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. Another day begins. It's nothing new. These lessons come to me dressed in deja vu. Thought I had it all sort of figured out, but she stripped me clean and she exposed my doubt. That's what it's all about. When it falls apart, the pieces fit, but you won't see it till you're blinded. You can let it go, hold it tight. When you lose your life, you will find it, find it. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, in the dark on my knees is when I hear her sing to me. Why is the truth so hard to take? The heart cannot go free until it breaks. When it falls apart, the pieces fit, but you won't see it till you're blinded. You can let it go, hold it tight. When you lose your life, you will find it. When it falls apart, the pieces fit, but you won't see it till you're blinded. You can let it go, sight when you lose your life, you will find it. Oh, find it. Oh, la da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da la 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 la. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bob, we miss you. Mom, I love you. Thanks for being on the journey with me tonight. I felt like it was that needed to be read. So I hope that it blessed you. And yeah, thank you. All right, we'll end with this little snappy pop number that's 2 minutes and 32 seconds, track 12 on Sweet Redemption. Wrote this with my friend Chad, who also I wrote Pour Your Spirit Out. Very, very different song from the Joel record, which will be number 11 live stream the very last Thursday of October. And I might be working on something incredibly special for that evening. So you're going to have to stay tuned. Thanks for supporting my music and my shirt wear. Oh, for crying out loud, I totally forgot to put this on. This seems so fitting for right now. I really wanted to wear this hat last week for my Christmas show because I did the album release for Unbroken Song at my favorite club, Club Passim up in Cambridge in Harvard, Massachusetts. Harvard Square, Cambridge, Massachusetts. And for that show, it was I think we might have done 2 or 3 shows, but I can't remember because it always snowed and got canceled. And anyway, and then guys in the audience would yell out, "It's snowing so hard, you better get a yardstick." They did. It was really funny. Anyway, for that Christmas release show for the Unbroken Song, my Christmas Makeout record, if you missed that show, you should go back and watch it last week. Yeah, it's a Christmas Makeout record. Did you not know that, Elizabeth? No. Good God.
It's going to be a surprise.
I'm sorry, I ruined it. But we did this fun thing, sort of like we did last week, in that we gave gifts away for the trivia, and everybody got their gifts. Some folks got Chex Mix along with their gifts. One woman, I believe it was April, I'm not sure if April's watching tonight, but her Chex Mix, I think the postal worker just dove into it because it sort of exploded everywhere, and she sent me a picture of it, but she still got to enjoy most of it. So again, I apologize, April, for that. But last week we gave gifts away, and Amy, who's that? Oh, good, awesome, I'm so glad. My friend Janie, who is here tonight, made Christmas cookies, and I totally forgot. She sang with me last week, but I totally forgot to thank her for the Christmas cookie. Thank you for the Christmas cookies. You're welcome to everyone. All right, last song. So anyway, Christmas record, Makeout record. We did the CD release for it at Club Passim, and we did a White Elephant gift exchange, and everybody who bought a ticket had to bring a $5 gift to the show, and then we did a massive gift exchange with the entire audience, and this is what I ended up with. It's my red fez. It's so festive, and I totally forgot because it was sitting right here behind me last week on the fireplace mantle, and I forgot, and my son told me afterwards, but I missed the ball, so I brought it up here so I could wear it for this last song just to be festive. And I think my friend Signe, an old friend from Cambridge, actually brought this gift, so thank you. Because I wear it every Christmas. There is heartache that just don't taste right. Yeah, there are some wounds that make you want to lay down and cry. I've lived enough to know where to place my hope in sweet redemption. I was so lost over my head. rest of me. I've never been the same since I've had a taste of sweet redemption. Sweet redemption. Sweet redemption. This is the part where we whistle solo. Everybody. Oh, that's too high. Take it. That's good. I know I'm headed home down this broken road called Sweet Redemption. Sweet redemption. Sweet redemption. Sweet redemption. Sweet redemption. Sweet redemption. Sing it, everybody. Come on. Sweet redemption. Come on. Sweet redemption. Couple more. Sweet redemption. Sing it at home. Come on. Sweet redemption. That's right. Sweet redemption. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate it. Hey, this was fun. Blessings to you. My red fez off to you. Thanks for being here. And we'll see you next week for something as simple.